So I'm a little bit uncomfortable bringing this up, but just in the sense of just talking
Clint,
amongst friends.
Don't worry about it. Everybody has gas.
I was going to say yesterday I got gas and so much because my truck has a 36-gallon tank.
You knew what you were doing when you bought it.
Oh, I did. In fact, it's one of the features I was looking for when I bought it.
But it still hurts.
It does.
Yes.
It does. Gas pain, y'all.
Well, I feel like I'm a little immune to it. It doesn't affect me that much because I have a 9-gallon tank, okay?
Yeah,
and it
it's hard.
lasts me over a week.
It's hard to get gassy that way.
It does.
Hey,
It totally is.
I remember being a kid and you telling me a story of going to a gas station one time, and it was just on the gas station. It just said "eat and get gas," and you thought it was the funniest thing in the whole wide world.
It actually was a billboard just north of Amarillo as you head out of Texas.
Yeah.
There was a big billboard that said "eat and get gas."
Was this your adventure when you were just a young thing heading off to Colorado?
Oh, who knows? I don't remember. I just remember we've laughed about that for years.
Yeah.
And a lot of people my age will remember it. It's kind of a common joke.
Oh,
And it did exist
All right. Well,
on a billboard. So
what are we talking about today?
welcome
Farting?
to the RV Small Talk podcast, where we talk about that and lightweight trailers, truck campers, and people places and adventures that go right along with them. We are your hosts from Princess Craft RV. I'm Clint.
I'm PJ.
And I'm gassy.
Delightful. Delightful.
Nobody's ever gonna know my name. It's awesome.
I was thinking about that the other day.
You're right about that, Lindsay. I don't think anyone will figure it out.
Well, Lindsay, we're just going to have to bring it up a
Say
lot.
your name a lot.
All right. There you go. Because gassy
man.
it's not going to work.
Hey, everyone, you can check out show notes for episodes of the RV Small Talk podcast at rvsmalltalk.com, and just look us up on social media or YouTube. Just look up the RV Small Talk podcast. We'll be there for you.
And we can always have people look up these show notes, but do they really even know what the show notes will be about?
If they listen to the podcast, they do, because the show notes are about the podcast.
I don't
Podcast is
know.
about pretty much the same topic. It's kind of cyclical.
I guess it just seems like our intro was a little nebulous. So,
Okay.
yeah, let's talk about gas.
We're talking about the problem of gas for the RVer and the traveler in general today.
Pricing, the worries, and how much really is in your control.
Nothing.
Yeah, there are some things in your control.
So yeah, I will say that at the moment, gas prices are a little bit stabilized, but it wasn't but a couple weeks ago that they were climbing up there for our area, which is one of the cheaper areas across the U.S.
That's right. It is. We are cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
I think average across the country is what, $3.69,
I actually
$3.75.
printed that out. So
You
let me look at my
did?
paper. Yeah, current
Whoa.
average for today for regular gasoline. That's
Right.
that 87,
The cheap
89 stuff. Yeah. Current average price across the U.S. is $3.27.
Ooh, cheaper than I thought.
Yeah, even all the way up to premium, $4 and a penny. But diesel has been kind of just staying high for a lot of people. I've heard a lot of complaints. Its average today is $4.62, basically.
Well.
I got these from gasprices.aaa.com.
And last year,
Mm-hmm.
it was the diesel average was $3.60.
Yeah.
So it was $1 cheaper last year. But I mean, even if they have kind of stabilized, I think we can all agree that gas prices are kind of like, I don't know. I just feel like it's like the housing market. Like, it goes up and down. Like,
but if you have a diesel pusher,
you can't ever.
that's important stuff.
Sure.
I mean, $1 a gallon, that's
Sure.
a lot.
Diesel
That can
pusher,
add
or
up.
even if you're hauling one of the bigger fifth wheels and you're pulling with a diesel
Right.
truck, I mean, what's the difference? Diesel pusher, diesel puller, doesn't matter. It's diesel and it's
It's
using
pushing, it's pulling, it's using a lot of diesel, right?
And there's a lot of benefit to diesel, but it's hard for me to say I'm going to compare the two right now. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
haul as often. I'm fairly
Yeah.
local.
Yeah.
But there was a time when I was shopping for a truck. I was like, I don't know, maybe a diesel. I mean, you get the smell, you get the clackety clack.
I do really like the clackety clack.
I mean, it's got memories associated. I
true.
remember
Yeah.
my grandparents and all. Sometimes I borrow my parents' diesel truck just so I can drive it and hear, because it's an old Ram, old Dodge, 3/4 ton or 1 ton with the Cummins turbo diesel.
Well, that was all you could get 40 years ago.
Yeah, and it's that sound. It's
That's
that
right. Dodge was
feel.
the only one that made the diesel trucks. They made them for years, and they had that. They were so noisy.
Mhm.
Lindsay, do you remember my previous business? We always drove Dodge diesels, and we would buy them used.
I mean, it's a truck.
I'd wake up the neighborhood at 5 in the morning going to work.
It's a truck that really does sound and vibrate like a tractor.
Oh man!
I mean,
they
in
were
so many
loud.
ways. Yeah.
So loud. Well, diesel has the not only the reputation, but it does work harder, last longer. It's stronger engine. All of these great things associated with it. But it used to be kind of the cheaper gas.
Right. And I
Now
think that's
it's
what's
the
getting people.
expensive gas.
It used to be the cheaper.
Yes.
Maybe because of the way agriculture came about from agriculture and all that, but it is definitely not that right now.
Well, okay, I'm not an engineer. And so somebody I wish could explain this to me.
Mm-hmm.
So if y'all are out there, please comment somewhere so I can learn. My father, who was a petroleum engineer, would be so disappointed. But he used to say that diesel is kind of like the trash fuel. It was like the leftovers of refining gas. Now, I don't understand that. But if that's the case,
kind of a harsh way to put it.
Why does it cost more?
General terms, you're not wrong. It's not as refined. It's not as polished.
Okay, so is it a matter of supply and demand that now you have all of the big rigs and the working trucks that have to have it are diesel?
Maybe.
And so that brings the cost up? Is that it?
And I wonder if there's
I just don't understand
and
that
I also wonder if there's some governmental policies that have actually affected this as well. Maybe some old laws have timed out that helped out the farmers and the trucking industries and even the trains and all that were running diesel. I wonder if there's some things that timed out or if there's new restrictions that have come into play regarding diesel. I don't know. I haven't kept up with it, but I wonder if there's some politics involved with gas prices or diesel prices.
Well, it's interesting. I wonder if people listen to this podcast so they can hear us wonder about all the things we don't know about the topic
I invite
that
you
we're
all
talking
to
about.
wander with me.
We have no idea about this, right? We're all just saying, wow, this is so weird.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, what we do know is that gas prices affect people buying RVs,
Yes.
people using RVs, where they go, what they do, and kind of their overall feeling of traveling and camping.
It's amazing because, we talk about, well, just go to more local places. But honestly, it stops some people cold in their plans. It's like I dream of far places where diesel prices are high and I go nowhere. It's interesting.
Do you think it's like so many things? People start to worry about how much it will cost and it's so expensive that they're not really considering the reality of what difference it's going to make to them.
Because I feel like that's part of the human condition in some ways.
Yeah, maybe so.
I mean, not for everyone. There are some people out there and they're inspiring, really.
Mm-hmm.
They don't let the worries hold them so tightly. And yet I figure I'm somewhere in the range of normal. Most of us in the human condition, we let that slow us down.
Right.
Or stop us.
So let's say that you get an average gas mileage in a truck towing your trailer and probably, I mean, this is averaging a lot of things.
Right.
And you drive an 8-hour day to your destination.
Yes.
So you might use, what would you use if you're driving that far towing 100 gallons? So if gas changes $1.
That could happen. Yeah.
So if gas changes $1, I mean, that's $100 a day.
Absolutely.
Of you driving. And it certainly
Extra,
could
on
be
top. Yeah.
on top. Yeah. So it certainly could be higher than that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not nothing if a 2-day vacation cost you, $400 or $500 more to get there and get back.
Sure. It's
a 2-day drive to your vacation.
Hence the thing, like that's literally what the scenario you just laid out is my trip to Arkansas last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, it takes a fair bit to decide to do that. if you have your wife and your kids and towing trailer, a little bit of maintenance, food.
Sure.
you know.
Especially if inflation is up and so you feel like everything costs a little bit more.
Sure.
But gas is the worry. Now, gas, like we said, is coming down, but it's still, I think it's still front and foremost in the mind of RVers of, man, do we really want to take that trip?
Right.
Just because you worry about, you just worry about the extra expense.
Right.
Maybe you don't sit down and calculate the details. You just worry so you don't plan it.
Right.
I mean, don't you think?
And you get an RV or a trailer to travel differently. And so some people get it, and their version of travel differently means spend less on hotels. And here you are.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no savings, or at least your savings are significantly decreased if the fuel becomes a negative factor.
Well, what I don't want is to be what I consider the old grandpa who just says, we ain't doing it. Fuel's too expensive.
Right.
You know, and
no,
not
I don't
sitting
want to become
down
that either. No.
and figuring it out and trying to see what you can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we want to talk about today, I think, is what can you do that's going to make a difference?
Right. Well, I asked Lindsay this and she Googled stuff.
She did.
No, I already knew all this stuff.
I asked Lindsay this and she dropped some knowledge
You think
on
I'm
me.
Googling stuff to put it in the podcast?
I think
Oh, my
that is
goodness.
beneath you.
It all comes straight out of the stone piece right here.
Lindsay, unload upon us.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know.
If you could give somebody one piece of direction, if they said, I don't know, gas prices have gotten so expensive, what would you say people need to start off doing that's going to make a difference?
Here's my one piece.
Okay.
Google a solution.
Oh, come on, Clint.
But no, seriously, because there are programs out there that I don't know of personally, the names of them, who's doing it, but there's apps and there's loyalty programs. There are ways to get discounts, and some of them are significant discounts on the fuel that you're putting in your vehicle.
So it's kind of crazy because you see like the little things when you go to the gas station to sign up for rewards or whatever.
It could be Shell. Shell's a big one.
I mean, I feel like I'm with 99% of the population where you're like, nope. Like, I don't know. Is this a credit card? Do I have to pay something? And
it sounds like work.
Yeah. And like just something.
What information do they get?
Yeah.
But a lot of it isn't.
So
we stopped by a place last night to get gas, and me and Richard were both getting gas at the same time. So we're like on both sides of the pump. He said, I think I got rewards. It was not. It was not. I promise you.
Meet you at the gas pump.
Yeah. He didn't even like totally pump my gas, but he did help. So
what a gentleman.
I know. So at any rate, he said, I think I got rewards here. And I'm like, I don't have any rewards here. So he put his phone number in, $114 in rewards in gas at the Randalls.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
For buying groceries there.
Yeah, that's one of the loyalty programs.
And I promise you, he only buys things that are on sale with coupons.
Not if you shop groceries at Randall's, you don't.
Yeah, well, he does. Yeah, he buys all the stuff.
Does he do coupons at Randall's? Because that's the only way to get savings at Randall's.
And there is senior citizens discounts on Monday. And
I wouldn't know about those.
I mean, all of those things. He does all the things and still had $114 in gas credit. Yeah. So, I was blown away.
Okay. Well, there's an
Lindsay
example.
is so bored. $114. That's not nothing.
No.
That's enough to make up for one day of expensive gas.
That's like one gas tank fill for me.
Yeah. Well,
which I appreciate because my truck gets on one gas tank about 500 plus miles.
Well, maybe you should try one of these reward
Tell me more.
memberships, Clint.
Okay,
Because
Lindsay.
I'm trying to figure out which one I'm going to sign up for. So you actually don't pay for, at least the ones that I looked up, like the best ones. The first one is for diesel only, but it's apparently the best one for diesel. It's called TSD, and you can sign up at myopenroads.com. It's completely free. And if you have a large tank like yours, you can save up to $25. every time you fill up your tank.
That's not good for my truck.
Wow.
I know. That's a lot.
That'd be cool, but my
That's
truck
insane.
is a gasser.
Yeah,
so
don't put diesel in
don't
it. BP Me Rewards is gas or diesel, and it's the only one that has a price match program. So you have to pay for that piece of it, the price match part. It's $1 a month, so $12 a year. And I'm not sure. I mean, hopefully you'd save more than $12 and make it worth it. But for just the rewards card, you save 5 cents a gallon if you spend $100 or more a month on gas.
And does it matter where you go for gas? Because we're creatures of habit.
Well,
Right.
BP sounds like a British Patrol.
Yeah. So you have to spend $100 a month or more at BP in order to get the 5 cents a gallon off.
Do you know where a BP gas station is here? I don't think I do.
I mean, there's not one like in my route to work and back, but I've definitely seen them all over Central Texas.
Don't they own other stations?
I think that BP, so they do the refining and all that, and I think that they have some other brands that. So I'm going to look at this.
Okay, because
it's
BP
super
Exxon or something?
Yeah, something like that.
No. Exxon is different.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's Exxon.
What about Exxon?
Exxon Mobil Rewards is a point-based system, 3 cents in points per gallon on fuel purchases. And then when you get stuff like car washes or get stuff at the gas station, then you get points earned for that too. And if you're an AARP member with the Exxon Mobil Rewards, you automatically earn an extra 1 cent per gallon and 1 cent per dollar if you buy stuff at the store. So, I mean, there's kind of like tiers with the Exxon Mobil one.
I wonder, do you get a specific card that you use?
Or
Yes,
is it one of those
but
fobs. That's
actually, the only one I think they're cards, except for the Exxon Mobil Rewards. It's an app on your phone, and you can like beep your phone.
Okay.
On the gas pump, and you don't have to pull out a card or anything, which actually made my ears perk up because I hate getting my card out of my wallet and then going and putting it back in before I go and like stop pumping gas. Like I feel like that's a lot of movement for me with my card in my hand. And
I could drop it.
I feel like that's like the one time I'm going to lose it. So I thought that was really cool.
You lose it like 3 times a day.
But I always hear those horror stories, and they tell you not to get back in your car when you're pumping gas
because the
static
electricity.
Static electricity.
Touch the outside of your car,
and everything can like burst into flames, and you're like,
it won't. It won't.
No,
yeah. So
I think of it like this.
I don't know.
I go through so much windshield wiper fluid because I'm that guy that when I'm filling up that tank, it's an opportunity to squeegee my windows so I don't get back in my car.
But it makes your windows even dirtier than it was before because that water's all grody.
You're doing it wrong.
Yeah, apparently. No, I get back in my car. Every time.
I don't have enough time to squeegee my windows.
I have not blown up yet.
Say, this afternoon we're going to be the Central Texas kaboom.
No, I'm not. Okay, the last one. Boop boop. Yeah, the last one was the Flying J's reward program. Flying J is obviously like the truck stop.
Right.
So this one is actually built with RVers and professional, like truck drivers in mind. Because they're all over the country. So you can sign up for the My Rewards Plus app. And you earn points when you fill up. You earn points when you go in the store. And then you can use them, which I thought was hilarious for like the truck drivers. You can use them for showers.
Yeah.
Which might be really helpful if you're RVing as well.
Sure.
But yeah, you can also use it for gas or
take for instance, you're on your way back, you're a day out from home and you've already dumped your tanks, but you're going to have to overnight. You want to shower. Use your points to shower.
You know, I actually showered a lot at truck stops when my husband was a truck driver and we were not married yet. And about 10%
once they got married, she stopped showering.
I quit showering. Yeah. Nobody cared after that.
You've already landed the fish.
I mean, that's when everything goes to hell. But I can tell you that only about 10% of them were tolerable. And that has changed. Truck stop
Right.
showers are very nice for the most part now.
Well,
and
at
it's
places
a
like Flying
competitive
J,
business.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, Pilot, all of those. They have nice showers.
You know what I like about this is that if I'm doing one of my longer road trips, which our listeners go much further than I do. However, on my longer ones, the 8 to 17-hour trips that I drive sometimes, this would actually make trip planning a little bit easier. If I'm just going to use the Pilots and the Flying J's. You can find those on the maps, on your GPS, on the app and all that. You can plan your trip a little bit better versus me, because I will hawk eye every single sign. Every time I hit another town, I look down at my gas gauge and go, I'm filling up because I'm doing it. I fill up so much on these long trips. If I have half a tank, I'm filling up.
And I think that's a valid point. But I will tell you, and this is a bit off subject, but a lot of RVers are weary of truck stops. I get a little bit leery about just not knowing where to go, where to pull in. You might get stuck somewhere.
Particularly if you have a small rig.
It feels like kind of foreign and where I'm supposed to be. And can I line up over here with the trucks, or do I line up over there with the cars?
I felt like
where
that
do I go?
when I started elementary school.
It just feels odd.
I felt like that when I started middle school. I felt like that when I started high school. I felt like that when I started college. I felt like that when I started Princess Craft. I feel like that every time I start going somewhere for the first time. Y'all,
well,
it's a skill.
You're well seasoned, but I'm just telling you, a lot of people avoid truck stops because it feels a little out of place.
Sure.
So
sure.
I don't know.
For people who like to go new places, feel a little bit out of place at a truck stop once or twice, and it'll become old hat.
So we've talked about the discount programs, but what if the Exxon gas is always more expensive than the gas down the street? Why not just go down the street instead of go to Exxon to get the 3 cents off a gallon?
You still have the liberty to do that.
Yeah. So how do you know? What's the best thing
America's
here?
a free country.
Well, that's good.
Gas Buddy.
So
Upside Down and Waze are the 3 most popular gas saving apps. So they'll basically just show you
best prices around town,
best prices in your area. And that first one, the BP Me Rewards, also has a price match program where basically they do the same thing. Like,
oh yeah, that's cool.
They will show you within so much distance around each Exxon station what the gas prices are around. But of course, if you go to one of the other ones, then you don't get the rewards.
Right.
So a little bit of math involved. Like, am I going to save more here, or am I going to save more if I get my points? But I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Well,
at some point, you just gotta.
It's like everything else. Gas is something that if you're traveling, you're using it regularly, and the savings add up.
Right.
It just adds
Pennies
up.
add up, dollars add up. Absolutely. You know, being a T-Mobile customer, that means my cell phone does not work anywhere I camp.
I didn't know about this, though.
It doesn't work anywhere I camp. AT&T and Verizon have much better coverage.
But what does it mean, Clint?
But it does mean on Tuesdays, on T-Mobile Tuesdays, there's a discount on gas, and it's pretty significant.
T-Mobile customers.
It can be 7 to 10
I know.
cents.
What?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an app.
So you have to like get like the T-Mobile app and sign up for it, and then do you pay with the app?
right there? Yeah.
And then do you have to go to a specific station?
It pretty much. Yes, they have certain stations or certain brands that they work with. And then you can, in a way, double up. Like my brother-in-law oftentimes uses another app with this. So he has the T-Mobile app, and he uses the, I think it's the Murphy USA app or something like that. Mm-hmm. And he gets a discount from both. Now, the Murphy becomes slightly decreased. It goes from like 5 cents to 3 cents or something like that. But he's still saving more that way.
So are you going to put a link to the T-Mobile app in the show notes?
How do you use 2 apps?
You know
you just register one and then the other.
Yeah. I'll talk to my brother-in-law to see how he does that, because I'm not as sophisticated as he is.
I want all the tricks on how to save money on gas.
Yeah. So maybe that's one thing. Find out what apps and programs you're enrolled in and see if you can actually stack them, because some of them it works.
Yeah, like double coupon day.
Yeah.
Only it's double coupon doesn't mean 2 different coupons.
Yeah, it does.
This time.
Okay. All right. So you could use an app and a gas program together.
Yeah.
So maybe the best thing to do then is to figure out which gas station you use regularly when you're not traveling and get their rewards program.
Yeah.
And then if you're traveling, be sure you have a gas buddy or something else to find the cheapest locally. And then you can compare it to whatever your app is that you use regularly. Because we all tend to use the same gas station.
Yeah, we do.
You know, just because it's easy,
I use the HEB grocery fill-up station that is, a half mile from my house every single time. And that's one thing I've learned about certain regional grocery stores. They may not have a program, but for some reason they might have
the
better
cheaper
gas prices without joining a program. That's been my case. I can, in my city, HEB always has the lowest price.
Yeah, for those of you who aren't in Texas, HEB is the bomb. I'm telling you, they do such great things.
After
I wonder
that,
if HEB has a gas app.
And then there's a lot of QTs popping up around me, and they also tend to be very competitive, and they offer ethanol-free gas, which for most of us don't matter because we have fuel-injected cars. However, for small engines and 2-strokes like your lawn equipment and all that, ethanol-free is the way to go to keep them running. So, just a little tidbit there for you.
My lawnmower is electric. Boom.
Fantastic. You use a lot of coal to cut your lawn. Coal.
Well, it sounds like for those people who want to do a little research, a little homework, and a little strategy as you drive, you can save money buying gas. But for those of us who say, yeah, I didn't really get that far. Yeah, really not that guy. Is there anything else we can do?
Yeah. If you're not saving money on the front end when you're putting the gasoline in your tank, then you might as well try to get as many miles as you can out of every drop in your tank, right? So there's some things you can do to extend your range, to get better efficiency.
Ooh, I know one.
What's that?
Well, of course, have the right air pressure in your tires.
That's right.
I need to do that too, Michael.
They roll better. And I have not on purpose necessarily tested this and noticed, cold weather changes. I have noticed a significant difference. I'm talking because our cars tell us what our average gas mileage is now.
Yeah.
And I'm talking 2.5 miles per gallon more.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So don't cars now, they all tell you if you have a low tire, can't you just wait? As long as your car doesn't tell you it has a low tire or something, aren't you good?
No, because there's a range. I mean, most of them won't alert you until you're 10, 12, 15 pounds below, depending on.
Ooh.
And that makes a big difference. The thing is, a rounder, more rigid tire does roll better. That does not necessarily mean it's better for towing or hauling or traction. So you have to balance your needs together. Your need for fuel efficiency, but also your need to arrive safely. Balance those things and don't ever air them up above specifications from the tire manufacturer. All that aside, more air in your tire makes a tire that rolls better.
Well, you have to check the tire pressure when it's cold. So do you have to physically, I get all choked up talking about tires.
It's exciting. It's riveting stuff.
It is riveting.
Yeah.
So do you have to go around and physically, stick that thing on your tires all the way around just to check the tire pressure when you start out?
Not today. Not if you get a TPMS system or your car actually has one that tells you the tire pressure. So my vehicles tell me the actual pressure in the tire because it has built in from the factory TPMS. But we sell them out here. You just change the cap on your valve stem and put the app on your phone and there you go. You have a TPMS. It tells you the actual pressure in your tire.
So I bet most people don't know if their car does that or not, or how to get there.
But I'm sure most people know if their dashboard lights up when their tire is low.
But this also matters to your trailer too.
What he's saying is you can't wait until it pops up and says it's low because that's really low.
Right.
So you need
but people know whether their car is capable of that or not.
However, if you have a trailer, most of the trailers don't have a TPMS. Some of them do, but you have to buy a little addition. But Put
But
a
if-
TV mouse on your trailer.
But if, let's say, 35 PSI is what I need in my tires,
Mhm.
and it doesn't alert me until it's 28,
Yeah.
then I don't want to run at 30 or 32. I want to run at 35. So what I'm saying, Lindsay, is can I look in my car and it says my exact tire pressure at that moment?
Mine does.
It depends on the vehicle. Some of them, yes. Some of them, no.
Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah.
mine does that.
Well, you,
So that's what I'm saying. Some
Well,
people may
you should
not
put,
know.
I mean, you got a new car,
Yeah,
but
to be
yeah,
fair,
push
yeah.
some buttons and figure
I
it
can
out.
sit there and push all the buttons.
It
and figure it out.
probably does.
I've never looked. I know it's going to tell me if it gets really low.
Right.
I assume.
It will. Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. But,
Okay.
But does it have one of the menus on your screen?
That says you're at 33 or
Right.
you're at 35 or you're at
I oftentimes
30.
drive with that up because I'm just watching my tire pressures change due to heat.
Yeah, it
longer-
does change as you drive.
So will the exact proper tire pressure in your trailer tires get you better gas mileage or just in your vehicle?
Yeah. If your
Because
trailer,
that's the one that's going.
if your trailer has more friction on the ground due to low pressure,
It's harder to pull.
it also is harder to drag. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
But go by the manufacturer stats on that, and people go back and forth on if they pay attention to the tire manufacturer or,
Or
the
the
trailer
sticker.
and they go and or the sticker. And I'm in the camp that errs on the side of the tire manufacturer for safety reasons, not necessarily. And the trailer manufacturer will put a sticker on there for what tire they are shipping that thing out with. Well, that tire may have changed. You may have a different tire. And they also want it to ride a certain way, so it may be a different number. When I'm pulling, I typically will air up to the tire specification because to me, that's the engineer that I want to pay attention to, literally where the rubber meets the road. It's their rubber,
Well, regardless of how you look at tire pressure,
Yeah.
we could have a very long conversation on that, but
We
you
have.
don't want it to get low.
Right.
So if you don't have a TPMS system on it, it's real easy to just put those caps on
Love it.
there,
Mhm.
have the little thing or the app on your phone
Mhm.
where you can just see when you start out
Sure.
if they're where you want them to be.
Man, I would
right?
put these on my utility trailers, on my farm trailers and equipment and all that. I mean, I'm forever airing up tires at the ranch.
Right.
It's annoying. If I could catch that beforehand,
Uh-huh.
fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Does it matter which tires you have?
Yes. So that's a point. And it won't, this is not the biggest, most significant factor, but it matters some. So everything's adding up, right?
Right.
Different tire compounds do have more or less friction. So not all tires are made with the same mixture of rubber. You have more silica in one, you have, more of this or that in the other. The more grippy the tire, which is usually for your high-speed tires, they tend to wear out faster, but they grip the road better. Well, that's more friction. So friction means
Right. Makes sense.
a little bit more drag. However, your tires that are more stiff, they tend to get better mileage. You don't replace your tires as often, but they tend to roll better because they're harder compounds. So it's a trade-off. There's a little bit of safety with the grippier tires, and there's a little bit more mileage with the harder compounds.
So a nice summer tire is going to probably get a little better gas mileage
Oftentimes.
than a big off-road knobby tire.
Yeah.
But you know what? I say at that point, as long as you understand, pick the one that makes a difference to you. Because again, we are now talking about a matter of degrees, not $100 a day.
Yeah. And you know what? Again, my vantage point on that, safety. I like safety.
Yeah. I like for people to enjoy the ride, enjoy the trip. And you like the big knobby tires.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just know it's going to take a piece.
You were shopping for tires recently and you were saying, I want a what? What kind of tire was like your sticking point?
I wanted a quiet tire.
And that's the compound.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wanted a quiet tire, and I got it, and then I traded in my car.
Yeah. It took you
Then I gave it away.
45 minutes.
It's all good. It's all good.
All right.
One of the biggest things I think is speed.
Yeah.
I remember when all of a sudden we went from 75 miles an hour on the freeway. There was gas shortages, so everybody was slowed down to 55 miles an hour.
And I grew up in the time of 55 miles.
Yes.
And wow, it makes a difference.
It does.
And it's all about
huge.
It's all about wind drag, your wind resistance.
You know, honestly, this is probably the number one thing you can do to save money on gas.
Right. Slow down a little bit. And generally 60 or below. And you're going to optimize what the engineers of the transmission have kind of optimized for. You're going to take advantage of the engineering.
Well, it just takes a lot of effort for you to keep an engine going at that bigger speed.
Yeah.
Especially when you're towing. It really jumps. I know that we can really make a huge difference when we're towing our trailer by dropping from, say, 70 to 65.
Right. Driving the right hand
63 to
lane.
65. Huge.
And be patient with yourself. Give yourself a little grace. Enjoy conversation and the view, and save quite a bit of money.
And maybe it also has something to do with how you drive. You know, some people have a heavy foot when they take off.
That's where you're throwing dollars out the window. Acceleration is it. No matter what vehicle you're in. If you're in an electric vehicle, you're dumping your capacity.
So aren't you doing that whether you have a trailer or not?
Yeah, you're doing that in life. If you accelerate in life too hard, no, wait, that's not how that
no,
works.
wait, time out, stop.
No? Okay.
Lindsay's rolling her eyes.
So accelerating
No, I'm
gradually.
not.
And this is something that young people in general, you know, we'd like to take off. I mean, and then I think that some of us get stuck in that mode. So you know who takes off from every single stop. But this isn't just takeoff. It's also if you're rolling slow. Let's say you're coming out of 35 and you know that you're going to a 75. This happens a lot coming out of small towns in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be going 85 by the time you hit that 75. You can still be,
You can gradually build up to it. You don't need to get there just because the speed limit changed. You know, a big amount of gas is probably spent passing somebody.
Oh,
because if you're towing a trailer and somebody in front of you is going even slower than you are.
Passing while towing a trailer is,
whoa.
Yeah, I don't like that.
A lot of gas. You can almost see the gas needle move.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's scary too. You know what? Another thing is a bit of your route planning. You know, avoid high traffic areas and times. Because of all the slowdowns and stops, we just talked about accelerating from a dead standstill or even from a slow speed. That's where you lose the most value in your fuel.
Okay, wait. So you're saying if you make a route that doesn't go through a city or have a whole bunch of stop signs or hit traffic,
right now,
then you don't.
This is
stop
a balance.
And start.
It's like, are you going straight through the business version of the highway? You know, I-35 business, more traffic lights, two lane roads.
But it's a shorter distance.
It's a shorter distance. But if you're rolling and you're maintaining and you're not having to start, stop, that's when it matters. But if it's like, to be honest, the toll road around Austin oftentimes is not necessarily saving because it's it's a huge
and it's
route.
Expensive. It's a toll road.
Right. So there's that. Now, if that were a free stretch of road, not a toll, I think there are times that it still is not going to be more efficient because it goes way out of town.
You know, I don't know. I think that planning a route that takes your time, so you're not in a hurry, and maybe take some of the country roads, it's got to save you on gas if you're hitting a big city
much
with
of the
a
time.
lot
And
of
that's why it's a bullet point on here.
Yeah.
Much of the time. And honestly, to be in that mindset is good for you.
What about, when you're planning your trip, I can see how that makes sense. But once you get going, you know, what about what do they call it? Cruise control.
Yeah.
I am not a big cruise control fan, but do you think...
At all or towing in general?
Just not at all.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I always seem to be in a situation where then somebody's in front of me going slower and I have to come off of it. I have to figure out which button to push to get it back up there. Yeah. I mean, is cruise control really saving you money?
I think you're going to have debaters out there, but I think my leaning, and I think I've read some, but I can't guarantee you where I read it. I think if you're on a stretch that is going to be without starts and stops and slowdowns, it does actually help. But it's one of those things where you're talking about slowing down, speeding up, slowing down, modulating your speed.
Mm-hmm.
That can become problematic.
And if like you slow down and then it's trying to speed back up on cruise control,
It wants to get you there fast.
It's trying to get to that speed at the really quickly.
Yeah.
So then you're just accelerating really fast.
You're using your vehicle's computer to have a
that's
lead foot.
true.
Yeah.
Because then it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it drops down a gear or many gears and whatnot.
Even going up a hill,
Mhm.
Yeah.
it drops down a gear and you're like pushing because it's trying to keep you
At that speed.
that same speed.
Right. So you got to keep in mind the
So-
terrain. Like if you're heading west across Texas and you're towing, well, once you hit that
Where there's not a
speed-
single hill.
yeah, once
Maybe
you
a
hit that
small
speed,
hill if you go over a
click on
tumbleweed.
that cruise control because your transmission isn't likely to be shifting a whole lot. When cruise control is shifting a whole lot, that's when I don't use cruise control.
Because it's not saving you money at that point.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, why don't you just have a lighter trailer, right?
That makes sense.
To buy a smaller trailer.
Yeah.
But,
Leave
people
the
want what they
heavy
want.
kid at home.
Yeah, leave the kids at home. Whoa.
Yeah.
That's one
for
thing
so
you
many
could
reasons.
do.
You don't have them. You don't have their stuff. You don't have their food. Yeah. And the trick here is, again, accelerating from a stop or from slow speeds. You're moving more mass. It just takes more.
So the lighter your trailer, the better.
Mhm.
So if you can, pack less. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Don't haul a full tank of water.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, because that can be what, 300, 400, 500 pounds?
Yeah. Yeah.
That can be a lot of weight.
Yeah. And it's hard to slow down and it shifts your balance. Every time liquids are hard.
It's
Hauling liquids are
so wet.
I heard this.
Oh, save gas.
Mhm.
Dump the water, folks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, the deal with high speed is drag, but at any speed, drag is a problem. So if there's a way to reduce drag, you take your flags. You follow a team, right? Whatever, football team, hockey team, whatever. You have flags on your windows. I know it's Texas. You haven't heard of hockey, field hockey.
I don't know what we're talking about here. Flags on your windows?
Yeah, flags on your car
Yeah, reducing drag. Take those things off.
because they're a drag.
That's right.
Nobody cares about your school.
Who has
Take
flags
those
on their
things
window?
off. A lot of people.
Cowboy fans.
Yeah. Where have you been driving lately?
Yeah, I don't know. I do want some of those like reindeer antlers and ears that you can put up
That
the
would look
stick
real
above your
cute
car.
on your Miata.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, and maybe eyelashes.
And a little like red nose on the front.
Yeah, that's all drag. Don't do it.
Hey,
She's not towing with her
it's a
Miata.
Miata. Yeah, I get like 400 miles off my 9 gallons. So
It's true.
I am
That's
okay. So I can I have reindeer ears, reindeer antlers at Christmas, and a little more drag?
Sure. We'll allow it for festivity.
All right.
purposes.
Next Christmas, I'm dressing up, folks.
You know, something people don't consider, and this has to do on trip planning when you travel. Cold weather tends to correlate with less mileage.
I'm sorry. Is your car going to be a drag queen? Because it's
What?
a drag.
If you introduce more
You're
drag,
getting more drag. Sorry, this all just bounced around in my head. What were
Lindsay's
you?
back, folks.
What were you saying?
according to energy.gov, cold weather and winter driving conditions can significantly reduce fuel economy. I know I'm not going to read the whole thing.
Why are you
but-
talking like that?
Because I'm a goofball.
Are you a drag now too?
No, that's not. I don't think that's a common voice. I don't know.
So why
Maybe
does
is.
it reduce? Why are cars just less? Are the engines less efficient when it's cold?
I believe that's the case. Yeah,
And that's why they tell
transmissions
you
are.
to get gas when it's cold. You get, like, when you're pumping gas, you're supposed to pump gas early in the morning or late at night or in cold weather, because then you get more gas.
Well,
Well, that's just because it evaporates, right?
no, that's because it condenses. that's a weights and measures thing. You know, like liquids condense.
So wouldn't it be
water.
the same thing? Because when it's cold, you don't use as...
No, it's...
All right,
that doesn't affect necessarily the
Do we
efficiency
ask the audience on this one?
Some people, I mean, engineers will be like, well, if you install a cold air intake, you get more air for the kaboom in your engine for combustion and all that. But when it comes to actually in practice, your big metal vehicle pushing through the air and the transmission working efficiently and all that, colder weather correlates to lower gas mileage. And it's because of the actual physical mechanics of the transmission, the engine, the oil flowing through it. And that's another thing. Use the right oil viscosity for the weather conditions that you're driving in.
You know, a lot of this just sounds like do what you should do to take care of your vehicle.
Yeah.
Drive like a nice guy.
Oh, yeah.
And find a rewards card.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, is that the gist of it?
Yeah. And realize if you're sitting while your vehicle is running, you're just wasting
If it's just sitting there idling.
And so many of our vehicles have these auto start features and all that. And honestly, I hate them.
I hate them too.
I know what it's doing and I appreciate it, but I hate the experience of the continuous going to sleep and starting up. It's not fun.
It's a little unnerving, isn't it? Because you're like, wait, my engine stopped. Is it going to start? Wait, the light's green. And you have that kind of flash in your head before it starts going again.
You know what affects your engine's efficiency? Air conditioning and heating.
Well, so you're saying you should
not be blasting.
My favorite thing to do is to blast the AC and roll down all my windows. I know. It's so bougie.
That's
I know.
The worst.
I know, but I really like how it feels. It's always my favorite.
There was a Mythbusters episode, and I used to argue with my mom because she was like, "You're wasting gas by driving around with your windows down." I said, "I don't have my air conditioner on. I'm actually lugging my engine less." By having the wind whipping through my glorious back then teenage hair, and Mythbusters actually kind of proved this, that driving while not using your air conditioner with your windows down, you could actually go further
than turning on the air conditioner and rolling your windows up.
Yeah.
Well, if I put my top down, I have to admit I don't usually run the air conditioner because if it's Texas super hot here, I don't put my top down because it's too hot.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't touch the steering wheel. It's just hot. But if it's cold, I'll put the top down and turn on the heater. Works all day long and it's spectacular. So that may save gas.
It does.
But no.
Yeah.
Not doing it.
Understood. This is all
not doing
pick your poison, choose your own adventure. That's what all this is.
But, you know, I feel like that is a grandpa thing to say, all right, it's going to be
seats?
a little uncomfortable in here, but we're going to save some gas by not running the air conditioner. I mean, I have turned the air conditioner off when I'm about to run out of gas.
Yeah, I
do that too.
I mean, I'm like, okay, turn it off. Let's see how far we can coast.
In my little cars, both here and when I was traveling abroad and all that, I'd turn it off just to get more power.
Right.
It's like turn off the air conditioner. It's like having a turbocharger.
That's true.
Oh yeah. So do you have heated seats in your car? You do? Well, just put a Snuggie on and turn on your heated seats. Drive with the window down.
A lot of times where I'm at, I just don't happen to have a Snuggie with me.
Oh, we're getting you a Snuggie.
Uh-oh.
Leave it in your car.
So I don't know.
Where?
It's just one of the things that I do when I enjoy it. I have a trunk.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know that I have much more, just some practical stuff.
Well, how does your tummy feel?
My tummy?
Yeah.
Like a bowl full of jelly. What?
You started saying you had some gas, so.
Oh, I'm kind of gurgly.
Now that the episode's over, we know how to make it all better.
Yeah.
How's your tummy feel?
Like the whole topic has been coated in Pepto-Bismol or Mylanta.
Mylanta.
Pop, pop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief it is.
That's not Mylanta.
No, it's Alka-Seltzer.
Yeah.
Well, I learned a few things. I am impressed about all the apps and the discounts out
I don't
there.
think we scratched the surface. I think we hit like they're out there.
No, but I'm definitely. What have I been doing my whole life? I could have $117 in gas rewards right now.
Isn't that crazy? But I will tell you, isn't that the way of everything right now? I mean, we all buy online, right?
Yeah.
And everything you do online has some sort of a click here and get a 10% off your first order. Be a member and you get X amount of discounts.
I can't
and then
go to a new website without getting a pop-up that says, no, I don't want to save 10% on my first order.
I know. It's like, what?
You have to click the I don't like saving money button.
But that's really the way of the world right now. And anytime that you buy anything on a regular basis, we probably should all invest in it. I just never realized what was available with gas.
Yeah.
And it's odd that we're doing this podcast. And last night I was blown away for the first time that we had 100 and whatever it was in gas rewards.
It's like a whole year of gas for you.
Well, it's definitely a month.
Yeah.
So very crazy.
Yeah.
Very crazy. I'm going to try it. I'm going to put my dome piece on, as Lindsay says, do some homework and see what works for me.
Yeah.
And we should talk about this in a later episode to see what we do.
You know what I think
I am not going to turn my air conditioner down when it's hot outside. Yeah. I might not accelerate quite so quickly, and I might go around the cities to try to save some stop and go. Past that, I honestly, gas savings cards and discount programs are probably my best bet.
That's the way to go. Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that's the modern way to do things. And
all
it's,
right.
And it's the way to go because the gas companies and all that, that's where they're going to put their most value for the end user. They want your information. That's how they pay for it. They want your information. They can resell
want you to come back.
But that's where they're going to put the most value to you. I think that another thing that you might consider, and just hear me out.
Okay. I'm going to say no right off the bat.
When you're traveling, you're not pulling with your truck. With your Miata.
With my Miata. I am not.
You are pulling with your truck. So when you get to the campsite, that's your big V8 engine. So if you got to run into town and all that, you're using your V8 engine. I think what you should do is what I've gone ahead and done. It's how I save $5 a day, up to $25 a week right now, just coming to work.
Do it.
Get a motorcycle.
That's right.
Put it in the back of the truck.
Yeah. The difference between, and you can get one of those Honda Trail motorcycles, the 125 or 175. Oh, they're so classy.
Classy?
Yeah, classy. I'm showing you later.
That is probably not one of my gas saving things. And when you think about
It'll pay for itself.
Will it?
Yes.
Oh, come on.
Yes, I guarantee. All
right.
Because
I'm going to ask the audience on this one. Y'all need to post on this as well, because I am getting fed a line of you-know-what right here, right now from Clint.
Your Ram, standard driving, not towing, gets what kind of gas mileage?
No, but wait. How far away am I going to the store when I'm camping?
I don't know. How far away are you?
And also, how often do you leave the campsite with just you and not you and Dad?
Okay.
And I usually don't stop at the store unless I'm doing something else.
You two would be such a cute couple on your matching Honda Trail.
Then we would have to save enough gas to pay for 2 trail bikes.
They get, on average, over 60 miles to the gallon. Next to your, 17 miles to gallon in your truck?
Okay. I am done with this, but thank you. What an interesting idea. Y'all can laugh about me on a trail bike.
All right, fine. I'm not even going to bring up the new batch of electric motorcycles that will do the same thing.
You're right. Please don't.
That's a whole nother episode.
I might have an e-bike.
Okay. You heard it here.
Well, this was fun.
Was it?
Gassy.
Yeah.
Not to toot my horn, but...
Oh, my goodness. Can we stop?
I can't. Genetically speaking, I can't help myself.
It's really not good for you to stop.
No. Just air it out.
Oh, man.
Until next time.
We are the RV Small Talk team, and PJ is fed up with Clint yet again. Thank you for joining us. Bye.
Bye.